A lot of founder dads are not blind. They know the drift is real. They know their family feels it. They know something has to change. They know that this pace is costing more than they want to admit. And still, they wait. This is one of the hardest truths in this whole conversation. Not that men don't know, that they know, and they delay anyways. And that is something that we have to talk about. This is what it looks like. You hear something true. You feel it. You agree with it. You even say, that's me. You know what needs attention. You know what's off. You know what your family needs more of. And yet, a week later, the structure is the same. The pace is the same. The pattern is the same. Awareness matters, but awareness doesn't always change a life. Conviction does not change a life. Emotion doesn't change a life. Agreement does not change a life. Only decisions backed by action does that. And this is where most men stall. Men wait because waiting feels easier. It's safer, it's cleaner, it's less disruptive. You tell yourself you need more clarity, better timing, a calmer season, less pressure, a little more margin before you're really ready to change things. But most of that, it's not wisdom, it is resistance dressed up as a strategy. The language usually sounds like this. After this launch, after this hire, after this quarter, after this deal, after things settle down, then I'll fix it, then I'll be more present, then I'll rebuild, then I'll stop living like this. The problem is that later it keeps moving, and that is why this is so dangerous. Delay can sound responsible, it sounds mature, it can sound disciplined. You tell yourself that you're not ignoring the issue. You're just timing it well. But the truth, it's already clear. Delay is often just a softer way of saying no. Waiting protects something, usually identity, comfort, control, the familiar pace, the current structure, the old version of you that still wants to stay at the center of everything. Because once you really change, something has to die. A lot of men would rather keep hurting slowly than face that death honestly. So while you're waiting, your family is still living in the old pattern. Your wife is still adapting. Your children are still learning. The atmosphere of the house is still being shaped. Memory is still being built. Patterns are still becoming normal. That is the cost of waiting. Time doesn't pause while you think about changing. This is the hardest truth. Waiting is not neutral. Waiting is a choice. Not deciding is a decision. Not interrupting the pattern still teaches the pattern. This is why delay matters so much, and it's not harmless. It keeps building the very life that you say you do not want. The realizations are always familiar. They'll understand. This is temporary. I'm doing it for them. I'll make it up to them later. Things aren't that bad. I just need to get through this season. Those lines feel comforting, but they also do not stop the drift. They just make it easier to stay inside of it. Your family doesn't experience your delay as a strategy. They experience it more of the same, more waiting, more patience, more partial patience, more postponement, more reasons why change is coming later instead of now. This is part of what makes delay so expensive. It lands relationally, but not intellectually. Most real change begins when something becomes unacceptable. Not comfortable, not uncomfortable, unacceptable. When the old way stops feeling survivable, when the cost of becoming impossible to keep denying, when a man stops negotiating with what has already been known to be true, this is when change starts getting real. So here's the better question. What am I still tolerating? What have I allowed to stay normal that shouldn't be normal? What am I calling not ideal that actually has become unacceptable? That question gets closer to the action than almost anything else. Real decisions sound different than vague intention. It sounds like this stops here. This is no longer bending. This gets protected now. I am not waiting for a better season to become the man I already know I need to be. This is a different kind of language because it comes from resolve, not hope. Don't wait for a bigger crisis to force change. Don't wait until the distance gets louder. Don't wait until your child stops asking for more, obviously. Don't wait until your wife goes quieter than she already has. Don't wait until your own regret becomes unbearable. This is a cruel way to finally become honest. The practical shift is simple. Move one thing from later to now. One conversation, one protected block, one decision you no longer own, one standard you stop flexing. one part of the old pattern that you interrupt this week. Not in theory, but in reality. This is how waiting loses power. Action matters because it breaks the spell. Delay lives in abstraction. Action forces reality. And once you move one thing, the lie that you just need more time starts losing its grip, because now the pattern is no longer theoretical. Now it's changing. A lot of men admire truth. They resonate it, they quote it, they agree with it, they talk about it. But the question is not whether you admire truth, the question is whether you will live in it. And that is the shift that this week asks for. Run a 7-day stop waiting plan. Day 1, name what you already know is true. Day 2, name what you're still tolerating. Day 3, define one line in the sand. Day 4, take one action this week, not later. Day 5, protect that action. Day 6, review what changed because you moved now. Day 7, repeat the next piece of truth that you're done delaying. This is the father first truth. Your family's living inside of what you keep delaying. Don't forget that. The pattern you're still thinking about changing is still shaping them in real time. This is why waiting matters so much. And if this hits something real for you, go get the book. It's called Before They Stop Asking, and it goes deeper into how men wake up before the distance becomes their legacy. Start at beforetheystopasking.com/book. The link will also be in the description. In the next video, we're going to go from awareness into decision, what it actually means to draw the line in the sand, and why that moment changes more than most men realize. We'll see you on the next one.